Are you feeling under pressure? That lingering sense of exhaustion that seems to seep deep into your bones? The kind that even sleep cannot shake off? If so, you are not alone. This is not a personal failure. It is a common experience in modern life, both in America and across much of the world. Respected organizations such as the American Psychological Association, APA, and the Mayo Clinic describe how everyday challenges like looming work deadlines, bills that need to be paid, and the constant demands of caring for children keep the body's internal alarm system permanently switched to the on position. This prolonged state of stress leads to a widely recognized phenomenon known as burnout, a syndrome of emotional, physical, and mental depletion caused by excessive and long-term stress. The focus of this discussion is a key concept: consciousness energy. This is not a mystical idea, but a practical psychological framework for understanding the optimal operating state of a human being. This energy is the convergence of three elements: mental vitality, emotional resilience, and embodied presence. Mental vitality is the ability to focus, pay attention, and think clearly, abilities that are undermined by stress. Emotional resilience is the capacity to experience positive emotions, maintain inner balance, and stay connected with others, qualities that are eroded by the cynicism and disconnection of burnout. Embodied presence is the grounded, stable sense of fully inhabiting one's own body, free from the constant tension and agitation of the stress response. This energy is a finite resource, and it is steadily drained by chronic stress reactions. This article will take you on a journey of exploration. First, we will examine the scientific foundations that explain why we feel so profoundly depleted. Then we will move into a practical, step-by-step guide to 5 ancient Buddhist meditation techniques, methods validated by modern science, that are designed to systematically replenish this energy. This is not an escape from reality, but a way of learning how to engage with reality from a place of strength, resilience, and renewed inner peace. The science of burnout, an evolutionary mismatch. The human body is equipped with a sophisticated survival system, honed over millions of years of evolution, known as the fight or flight response. The APA explains that this is an automatic reaction developed in our distant ancestors as a way to protect them from predators and other threats. When faced with a perceived danger, whether a wild animal in the past or a stressful work email today, a small region at the base of the brain, called the hypothalamus, activates the body's alarm system. This activation sets off a chain of neural and hormonal signals, prompting the adrenal glands to release a flood of hormones. 2 of the most important are adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline, the body's first responder, increases heart rate, raises blood pressure, and provides an immediate burst of energy. Cortisol, the body's main stress hormone, acts over a longer period. It increases blood sugar, glucose, to supply energy, enhances the brain's use of glucose, and increases the availability of substances that repair tissues. However, to accomplish this, cortisol must make an important trade-off. It temporarily suppresses functions considered non-essential during a crisis, such as digestion, reproduction, growth processes, and most significantly, the immune system. The core problem of modern life lies in a deep mismatch between this ancient biological mechanism and our current psychological environment. The fight or flight system was designed to be self-limiting. Once the threat passed, hormone levels would return to normal. But in today's world, threats are no longer brief encounters. They are abstract, persistent pressures. Work deadlines, traffic jams, financial anxiety, and social expectations. As a result, our bodies respond to these psychological threats with the same life or death hormonal cascade designed for physical predators. The fight or flight response becomes stuck in the on position, keeping the body in a constant state of alert. This imbalance, the constant misfiring of a survival system, is the underlying cause of our collective burnout. It is not a failure to cope, but a predictable consequence of an evolutionary mismatch, an understanding that removes self-blame and opens the door to solutions for rebalancing this biological system. When the body's alarm system is activated continuously, acute stress turns into chronic stress, a condition that erodes both physical and mental health. When chronic stress is left unchecked, it develops into a deeper state of depletion, burnout. Burnout is not simply feeling tired. It is defined as a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It is the shift from feeling overloaded, stressed, to feeling empty or drained. The physical cost of being on constant alert is high. Muscles tighten as a reflex to guard against injury and pain. In chronic stress, this becomes a state of ongoing vigilance, leading to tension headaches, migraines, and persistent pain in the shoulders, neck, and back. This constant muscle tension directly drains physical energy. At the same time, prolonged and excessive exposure to cortisol wears down the body, disrupting nearly all biological processes. This leads to a wide range of health problems: digestive issues, sleep disturbances, weight gain, high blood pressure, and increased risk of heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. The immune system is also suppressed, making the body more vulnerable to illness and slower to recover. The mental and emotional breakdown is even more severe. Chronic stress impairs memory and concentration, manifesting as brain fog, difficulty focusing, and a sense of overwhelm. At the core of burnout is emotional exhaustion, with symptoms including feelings of failure and self-doubt, a sense of helplessness and being trapped, detachment, loss of motivation, and an increasingly cynical and negative outlook. This is the depletion of our emotional energy. These internal states eventually express themselves outwardly in behaviors such as avoiding responsibilities, isolating from others, procrastinating, turning to food, drugs, or alcohol to cope, and lashing out at others. One important truth to recognize is that burnout is not just about feeling tired. It is a crisis of meaning and connection. Symptoms such as cynicism, detachment, and loss of motivation are not side effects. They are the mind's defense mechanisms against a role or environment it perceives as unrewarding, uncontrollable, or unappreciated. This explains why simply resting is often not enough to recover. The causes of burnout often go beyond workload and include meaning-related issues, lack of recognition or reward, feeling that one's work makes no difference, and lacking close, supportive relationships. Essentially, the body and mind disconnect their investment in something that no longer provides psychological return. This understanding has profound implications for solutions. Any effective intervention must not only reduce stress, but also address this crisis of meaning and connection, laying the perfect foundation for the meditation techniques that will be presented next. The recovery path: 5 techniques to awaken energy. 1. Anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. The foundational anchor anapanasati, or mindfulness of breathing, is the foundation of Buddhist meditation and is often referred to simply as mindfulness in the West. Its purpose is twofold: to cultivate shamatha, calm stability, and to serve as the base for vipassana, insight. This is the essential first step in restoring consciousness energy by training the most basic human capacity, attention. It is the practice of learning to be fully present, knowing where we are and what we are doing without overreacting. A wandering, stressed mind is extremely inefficient. It constantly burns consciousness energy in rumination, worry, and threat scanning. The practice of returning to the breath is a discipline that stops this energy leak, redirecting our finite mental energy back into the present moment. The resulting calm and vitality are not passive relaxation. They are the outcome of active energy management. How to practice: a beginner's guide. Drawing on guidance from reputable sources such as mindful.org, Headspace, and the UK's National Health Service, NHS, here are simple steps to begin. Choose a seat. Find a quiet place. Sit comfortably on a chair with your feet flat on the floor or on a cushion. What matters is a spine that is upright but not rigid. Set a time. Start short, just 5 to 10 minutes. Consistency matters more than duration. Feel the breath. Place your attention on the physical sensations of breathing. It might be the air passing the nostrils or the rise and fall of the belly. Don't control the breath, simply observe it. The mind wanders. Accept that your mind will wander. This is not a failure, it is the mind's nature. The goal is not a blank mind, but recognizing when you've become distracted. Gentle return. When you notice the mind has wandered, gently and kindly return attention to the breath. Each return is a repetition that builds the muscle of mindfulness. Repeat as many times as needed. The science of focus, rewiring the brain for calm. This simple practice yields profound neural effects. It strengthens the prefrontal cortex, PFC, the brain's CEO, responsible for executive functions like attention and emotion regulation. At the same time, it reduces the size and reactivity of the amygdala, the brain's alarm center that drives fight or flight. Studies show that mindfulness practice is associated with decreased amygdala activity in response to emotional stimuli and increased activity in the PFC. In effect, it rewires the brain away from automatic reactions and toward considered responses. Moreover, research has found reductions in stress biomarkers such as cortisol and pro-inflammatory proteins, indicating that calming the mind also calms the body's stress physiology. Number 2, metta meditation, loving kindness, cultivating emotional resilience. Metta, a Pali term meaning loving kindness or goodwill, is a direct antidote to burnout's emotional symptoms: cynicism, irritability, isolation, and self-criticism. It is a practice of bhavana, active cultivation. It systematically generates positive emotions, aligning with Barbara Fredrickson's broaden and build theory, which expands our awareness and builds personal resources. This is a practice of actively creating warmth, not waiting passively for it to arrive. Burnout is marked by a downward spiral. Stress breeds cynicism and withdrawal, which degrade relationships and support, which in turn increases stress. Metta functions as an engineered upward spiral, directly countering burnout's downward pull. It doesn't just help you feel better momentarily, it builds psychological capital that protects you from future stressors. It's not merely feeling less bad, it's actively building the capacity to feel good, a stronger, more sustainable form of energy. How to practice, a heart-opening guide. Based on guidance from sources like Lion's Roar and Wild Mind, the traditional method unfolds in sequential stages. Stage 1, loving kindness toward oneself. Begin by directing well-wishing inward. This is essential. You cannot give what you don't have. Example phrases: may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy, may I live with ease. Stage 2, loving kindness toward a loved one. Bring to mind a close friend, family member, or even a beloved pet. Visualize them and offer the same phrases. May you be safe, may you be healthy. Stage 3, loving kindness toward a neutral person. Think of someone you see often but feel neutrally about, a grocery clerk, a mail carrier. This begins to strengthen the muscle of unconditional goodwill. Stage 4, loving kindness toward a difficult person. Bring to mind someone with whom you have conflict. This is the most challenging stage. The goal is not to condone their behavior, but to recognize their suffering and wish for their freedom from it, which in turn frees you from the burden of resentment. Stage 5, loving kindness for all beings. Widen the circle to include everyone everywhere, without exception. The science of compassion, healing heart and mind. Extensive research has documented metta's far-reaching benefits. Emotional health increases positive emotions and reduces negative ones, lessens symptoms of depression and PTSD, and softens self-criticism. Physical health, associated with reductions in migraines and chronic pain, even linked to slower biological aging via longer telomeres. Social connection activates empathy-related brain centers, increases compassion and helping behavior, reduces prejudice, and nurtures a greater sense of connectedness. Most importantly, metta improves vagal tone, a key indicator of parasympathetic, rest and digest health. Higher vagal tone supports better emotion regulation and resilience. Metta also increases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, strengthening feelings of safety and connection. 3. Vipassana, insight meditation, seeing clearly to be free. Vipassana means seeing things as they truly are. It is a practice of self-purification through self-observation. The goal is to move beyond concepts and directly experience the universal truths of impermanence, anicca, unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. In the context of energy depletion, Vipassana works by severing the habitual link between sensations and the reactive patterns, craving and aversion, that drain our energy. The mind's ongoing inner battle, I want this pleasant feeling to last, I need this unpleasant pain to disappear, is exhausting. Vipassana reveals the futility of that battle because all sensations are impermanent. By cultivating equanimity, we end the inner war, freeing a large store of consciousness energy previously consumed by resistance and reactivity. The purification described in the text can be understood psychologically as the relinquishing of an inefficient, energy-wasting mental habit. The energy that is awakened is not conjured out of thin air. It is recovered from the mental battlefield. Practice method, the art of observing with equanimity. The core technique, taught in the Zen Goenka tradition widely practiced in centers across the United States, follows these steps. Ethical foundation, sila. The practice begins with a commitment to ethical behavior, e.g., no killing, no stealing, no lying, to calm the mind enough for deep observation. Concentration, anapana. In the first few days of a retreat, the focus is entirely on the breath at the nostril entrance to sharpen and stabilize the mind. Observation of sensations, vedana. Once the mind is still and sharp, the practice shifts to a new stage. The meditator systematically moves attention through the body, from head to toe, then toe to head, observing any physical sensations that arise, e.g., heat, cold, tingling, pressure, pain, pleasure, numbness, without reacting. Nature of Vedana. Vedana are not emotions, but the raw feeling tone of an experience, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. An untrained mind automatically reacts with craving toward pleasant sensations and aversion toward unpleasant ones. This constant, unconscious reactivity is a primary source of suffering and energy depletion. Cultivating equanimity, upekkha. The heart of the practice is to observe these fleeting sensations with a balanced mind, clearly understanding their impermanent nature. By not reacting, the meditator breaks a lifelong habit of blind reaction and purifies the mind of deeply ingrained conditioning. The science of equanimity, breaking the stress reactivity cycle. Research shows that Vipassana practice leads to significant reductions in psychological distress, anxiety, and depression. By observing sensations without reacting, the practice weakens the automatic link between sensory input and the amygdala's threat response. It trains the brain to assess stimuli more objectively, engaging the prefrontal cortex rather than reacting emotionally. Studies show Vipassana reduces both cognitive and emotional reactivity, helping practitioners remain in the present moment and reducing the tendency to ruminate over the past or worry about the future, both major sources of mental fatigue. 4. Walking meditation, integrating mindfulness into daily life. Walking meditation bridges the gap between formal sitting practice and everyday living. Drawing from the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh, it is seen as a way to find peace and stability in motion. The earth is a sacred sanctuary, and each step is an opportunity to kiss the earth with your feet, arriving fully in the present moment. This practice directly counters the rushing, scattered, and ruthless qualities of modern stress. Much of our stress comes from living in our heads, disconnected from our physical selves and surroundings. By deliberately uniting breath, mind, and the physical act of walking, this practice powerfully restores a sense of wholeness and presence, key components of consciousness energy. It is not merely being mindful while walking, but a practice that uses walking itself to heal the split between mind and body created by modern stress. This re-embodiment becomes a source of renewed energy and stability, drawing attention away from the abstract, anxious world of thought and back into the grounded reality of the present moment. How to practice. A guide to mindful movement based on teachings from Plum Village and Lion's Roar. Here's a clear method. Find a path. A quiet space, indoors or outdoors, about 10 to 20 feet long is enough. Walk slowly. The purpose is not to get somewhere. The purpose is walking. We will just walk. We will enjoy our walking without thinking about arriving anywhere. Coordinate breath and steps. This is the core of the technique. Inhale and take 1, 2, or 3 steps, whichever feels natural and comfortable for your lungs. Exhale and take 2, 3, or 4 steps. The key is to link mind, body, and breath. You may use short gathas verses, like breathing in, I have arrived, breathing out, I am home. Focus on sensations. Notice the physical sensations, the lifting of the foot, the movement through the air, the placing of the foot on the ground, the contact with the earth. The science of embodied mindfulness. Moving meditation can be as effective as static sitting in improving well-being. It functions as meditation in motion. The single task focus on synchronizing breath and movement helps quiet the mind's endless chatter and release daily stress. The rhythmic bilateral movement may soothe the nervous system. Similar to other body-based therapies, it anchors the meditator in physical reality, pulling them out of abstract, worry-driven thought loops. 5 Zazen, seated Zen meditation. The power of stillness and presence. Zazen, literally seated meditation, is central to Zen practice. Its purpose is to reveal insight into the true nature of existence by releasing all goals and judgments. This is a practice of thinking of not thinking, where thoughts and feelings are allowed to arise and pass without entanglement or pursuit. It cultivates a state of pure, alert presence, a powerful antidote to the restless, overactive mind. In a culture obsessed with goals, productivity, and self-improvement, Zazen offers a radical practice, just sitting, shikantaza. This directly addresses the root of much of our stress, the constant need to do something. By cultivating the energy of being rather than doing, Zazen offers a form of rest deeper than sleep, recharging the very core of our consciousness energy. Its energy comes from the complete cessation of striving-related energy drain. Unlike Vipassana, which reduces stress reactivity, or metta, which generates positive states, Zazen rests in the foundational ground of awareness itself. How to practice: a guide to stillness. Drawing from detailed instructions from Zen Mountain and other Zen sources, the practice of Zazen is precise. Posture is key. In Zen, body and mind are one, so posture directly affects the mind. Common positions include cross-legged, Burmese, half-lotus, or full lotus. The key is to create a stable triangular base with knees on the floor. Cushion: sit on the front third of a round cushion, zafu. Chair sitting: sit near the edge of the chair, feet flat, spine upright. Form details: spine straight, chin slightly tucked, ears in line with shoulders. Hands in the cosmic mudra, left hand on right, palms up, thumbs lightly touching. Eyes half closed, gaze resting gently a few feet ahead. Breath awareness: let the breath be natural, unforced. Attention can be placed on the hara, energy center below the navel, or simply on the rising and falling of the abdomen. Beginners often count breaths from 1 to 10 to steady the mind. The science of deep rest and alertness studies of Zazen practitioners show increased alpha waves, relaxation, and, in experienced monks, frontal theta waves, deep concentration and heightened mindfulness. This is a unique state of relaxed alertness, distinct from sleep or drowsiness. Zazen reduces activity in the default mode network, DMN, the brain network linked to mind wandering, rumination, and self-referential thinking. Overactivity of the DMN is a hallmark of anxiety and depression, so calming it is a direct path to mental peace and energy preservation. Studies also show Zazen improves attentional control. Practitioners can quickly return to focus after distraction. The neuroscience of inner energy, an integrated view. Though differing in form, these meditation techniques converge on a central neural mechanism, rebalancing the relationship between brain regions responsible for reactivity and those responsible for regulation. Specifically, meditation strengthens top-down, deliberate control from the prefrontal cortex, PFC, while calming bottom-up alarm signals from the amygdala. This is a fundamental neural shift from reacting to responding. Consistent practice also leads to structural brain changes, a process known as neuroplasticity. Evidence shows increased gray matter density in key regions such as the hippocampus, linked to learning, memory, and stress regulation, and PFC, while gray matter in the amygdala decreases. This means the brain physically remodels itself for greater resilience. Much like muscles growing stronger through exercise, these brain changes translate into tangible physiological benefits. Practices like mindfulness and loving kindness meditation lead to measurable drops in stress hormones such as cortisol and ACTH. This switches off chronic alarm states, allowing body systems to return to balance and repair. Strong evidence also shows reductions in inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, IL-6, and TNF-alpha, since chronic stress fuels low-grade inflammation linked to many modern illnesses. Meditation counteracts this at the cellular level. Now we can redefine consciousness energy scientifically. It is the energy no longer wasted by an overactive amygdala, a default mode network stuck in rumination, and a body flooded with cortisol. Increased vitality comes from a balanced nervous system, higher vagal tone, a non-emergency endocrine state, and a mind able to direct attention where it chooses. This aligns closely with the psychological concept of flow state, a state of focused, effortless action. Meditation is the core training that creates the mental conditions for flow to arise more often in life. The Meditator's 5 Toolkit, Anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, O goal, attention and concentration, O addresses, distraction, brain fog, overwhelm, O when to use, When my mind is scattered and I can't focus, oh, practice 5 to 10 minutes daily as a foundation. Metta, loving kindness meditation. Oh, goal, emotion and connection. Addresses cynicism, irritability, isolation, self-criticism. When to use when I feel angry, resentful, or disconnected from others. Vipassana, insight meditation. Oh, goal, reduce reactivity and craving. Addresses feeling stuck, emotional instability, reactivity to triggers. Oh, when to use when I'm caught in a loop of wanting, not wanting, and feel at the mercy of events. Walking meditation. Oh, goal, embodiment and presence. Addresses rushing, disconnection from the body, living in the head. Oh, when to use when I'm restless or don't have time to sit, to integrate mindfulness into my day. Zazen, seated Zen meditation. Goal, stillness and non-striving. Oh, addresses mental restlessness, performance anxiety, need for control. Oh, when to use when I need deep rest and freedom from the pressure to achieve anything. Living with renewed energy. These 5 techniques are not isolated practices, but a complementary toolkit for navigating the pressures of modern life. The key is to start small and stay consistent. Habit stacking, such as a 5-minute mindfulness session before morning coffee or a walking meditation during lunch break, makes it easier to integrate practice into a busy schedule. Though rooted in Buddhism, their benefits for health, stress reduction, and energy cultivation are universal and scientifically validated. One does not need to adopt the entire philosophical framework to gain from these methods. These ancient practices offer a time-tested path not only for recovering from burnout, but for cultivating a state of deep, lasting peace, resilience, and vitality. They awaken the powerful, still, luminous energy of your own consciousness, allowing you to live a fuller, truer, and more joyful life in the modern world.